Hello everyone, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
Oliwia and I were sitting and talking, like always, discussing life and sharing thoughts. And then one level she was talking to me about something about how some people, everything is flowing in their life. Everything is working perfectly. But they succeed to block things and to destroy everything that they have just out of ego, just out of personal needs, out of jealousy, out of pride. They have everything. And even I told her then about people that I know that inherited so much money and they really could have enjoyed it to the rest of their life. But then they decided to go and to sue each other because everyone felt that he's disadvantaged. And then they lost most of their money on lawyers and courts and procedures. So we talked about it, and she also shared some of her stories with me about it.
Especially that when you are not like this, and if there's a financial situation in your family and everyone is fighting for the money, and the person that says, I don't care, I don't need it, I just let it go, that this person is considered to be almost crazy or unreasonable. That we justify this kind of behavior on suing each other in a families, that this is so normalized. Like, I mean, there's extra fields in it, like so big in Anwälte, like lawyers and stuff like that. There's like this whole system just built upon this because this is so common. But this is so uncommon not to go that path. That something has to be wrong with you if you're not like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in general, many people act upon their fears and about their ego, and they take it personally, though everything should be flowing normally. They are the ones who are blocking their opportunities because they think that they deserve more, self-entitlement. They think that they deserve more. And even not in a context of inheritance. Also, I remember in the time of 2020, in the time of the Corona, where many governments were giving money to businesses and to artists, just like this, in order just to survive the day, let's say. Mm-hmm. And I know many people that told me, you should apply for this and you should fill that. And I told them, I don't want to apply for anything like this because I'm happy not to have those people around. And then people really will feel stupid if you don't do it. If you're not part of this, how do you lose such an opportunity?
Yes.
But there's no free meals, and it came to bite them in the ass 3-4 years later.
Yeah.
But that moment of fears where I have to act, I have to take it, I have to own it, because everyone is doing it. Everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
I don't care if everyone is doing it.
Doesn't matter the status and how healthy they already are, right? So this is interesting because this is so much in people's system that sometimes even when there's stuff for free, like vegetables or small things that one can buy every day because they can just afford it, the moment that it's for free, everyone starts shaking, getting out of the skin to get it first. So how emotionally immature are we as like society?
Yeah, also think about those artists that fight and they compete against each other. Who's going to get the funds for their projects? You sent me this video yesterday on Instagram. It was so funny. About how they are have no problem to compromise their dignity. They have just to get those funds from the government, from the state, to create their projects. Why? Why do you need funding? Don't you trust your profession? Don't you know that you have a potential clients or potential audience or a fan base that is supposed to consume your art, what you bring to the table? Are you not sure of what you are and what you have, that you need to compete with other artists who's going to get the funding from the government? Also comes out of fears, out of pride, out of need to prove that and really, things could have been flowing in a much more positive direction, but they block their transformation and they block their journey out of their fears.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also funny that it's easier to apply for free money rather than just prove to themselves that they can make it for their own, like with their own skills and their own craft.
Yeah.
So because it's kind of for free, you know, you take yourself a couple of days, you fill in these papers, and you just get it like that. So I think this is also a mindset behind it, no?
Yeah, but it looks like, because they're acting out of their fear, so it looks like that they made the deal of their life. They're so happy when they got the funding, but at the end of the day, when you look at the holistic picture, it didn't serve anyone. It just wasted resources, it wasted energy, it didn't serve anyone. Yeah, he got dopamine. The artist got a little bit of dopamine, a little bit of ego was pumped.
They proved to themselves they are the one who got it.
Yeah, but actually, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
Oh.
So on one hand, they have like this pride that they're doing this because it's like competing and showing to others that they get the money. But what's pride and compromising your own vision to fit to a box that the system is giving you in order to get the money?
Yeah. And you know, also, I think it comes also not only in the context of the system and artists and fundings, but also in relationships where you see people living in a very good relationship. It's just flowing. Everything is in place. But suddenly they decide to demand more of the other person, more of his or her energy, to demand while everything is in place. And all those demands like scream out of scarcity, out of fears. Perhaps they're afraid to be abandoned and left behind. But this kind of fears, where they start to demand, they are blocking something that is already flowing, and it's counterproductive. It's not necessarily solving a problem or makes the relationship deeper and more meaningful, but it creates more resistance and more rejection than what they think. And you know, I remember a story that happened to me one time. You know, when some people comes to me in the street and they beg for money, and they come, like, they attack. Give me money, give me money. I get, whoa, I hide, I run away. Their needs, like, they want you to give them because they don't have it, but it's not that I don't want to give. When I listen to myself and to my honesty, it triggers resistance mechanisms inside me, and it doesn't invite me to give.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand it, because I think everyone has been in this situation, and me too, that either I had these resistant mechanisms when someone was pushing me, and I get also I can get very strong resistant mechanisms, or either when I was the one who was acting out of fear and out of insecurities. And what I'm thinking right now, seeing the situations described, from getting money and having a fight within the family, who's getting the money, how to divide the money, or the funds, to get the funds, or in a relationship, that in most cases we are so used to, in the moment, that we feel this scarcity, that we feel this angst and insecurities,
Fear.
that we go after it, you know, then we step in action all of the situations, instead of holding themselves or ourselves back to reflect and to choose another way. We do the thing that we should not do.
Yeah, it also reminds me, this scene, what I told you about when people are dating. Like, think about, like, in the dating, the woman is like, immediately starts to ask, and when are we going to marry? The guy will run away. What are you talking to me about marriage? This is the first time that we sit, like, in this moment. Her need, she's like in crisis, she's in emergency mode, that she needs to marry right now. Otherwise, there's a lot of expectations. The family is asking. And she's coming to the first date, to the date, and she's already asking about when we are going to marry. The guy will run away. Also, the other way, when the guy is coming to date a woman, and he's asking, like, you coming to me or should I come to you? I said, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
what are you talking to me about now? This is our first date. I don't know who you are. I cannot make decisions. I need to test you to know how you deal with rejection. How do you deal with delaying your needs or like. So they need to learn each other before rushing into conclusions and taking such decisions. So instead of sitting and enjoying the presence and the moment and the flow, they start putting their agendas and blocking this whole interaction out of their hidden agendas, out of their fears.
But honestly, really, especially when it comes to dating, it is so common to have this kind of things, you know, to ask too quickly different kind of questions, to have already demands in the beginning. Like I know it from different cultures, because each culture also has different dating rules kind of. And also on the internet, when I scroll, when they ask what is a green flag, what is a red flag, what do you ask on the first date, and I saw so many questions like to ask from the beginning. I don't waste my time. This is like the argument they're giving. I don't waste my time. Are you for this and this and this and this and this? But because if not, I'm gonna stand up and go.
Well, yeah, this is a nice theme to talk about when we make our program about dating.
Yeah.
It is real. There's a lot to say about this.
Totally. Yes. And also, again, when I hear all these things and I can also apply them to me, to resistance and acting out of scarcity, this is as hard as it is, but acting out of scarcity, acting out of insecurities is the way to hell, is the way to block it.
Yeah.
So to unsolve this is for sure like a big challenge. But if not, then I think one will always see themselves running with the head against a wall. Because nothing good can happen out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Anyway, there's a lot we can do. You wanted to say something?
No. It's fine, really.
I mean, there's a lot we can talk about this, and my hand starts to hurt because I'm carrying the phone like this. But this theme about what you just talked about red flags and green flags, is a nice.
Yeah. I see so much stuff on the internet where I'm like, okay, wow, this is interesting. So it's a immense topic.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Here's Shredy and Oliwia.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.